All right, we're getting ready to go live once the slide goes down. Good morning, this is Chair French, and I'm convening the Commission's regularly scheduled business meeting for Tuesday, February 2nd, 2021. On today's agenda, we have 22 consent agenda items and 2 noticed items. I'm joined by my fellow commissioners, Commissioner Susan Duffy and Commissioner Dwight Keene. With that, we will move to our first agenda item, and that is the consent agenda. Commissioners, you've had the opportunity to review the consent agenda items. Do you have any questions? And I will start with Commissioner Keene.
No questions, Mr. Chairman. However, I would at this time indicate that I am recusing on item 12, item 2. Item 2, which includes 4 dockets involving Quito. So I'll be recusing on all 4 dockets included within this item. Thank you.
Any questions, Commissioner Duffy?
No questions or comments. And with that, I will move approval of the consent agenda with recusal of Commissioner Keene as he noted.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda with Commissioner Keene's recusal noted on item number 2. Is there any further discussion of the consent agenda? Hearing no further discussion, those in favor of approving the consent agenda with the recusal noted, please say aye.
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 Aye. The consent agenda is approved. Now we will move to our noticed items, and first on today's list is a proposed order on staff's report and recommendation in docket number 16 GIMT 511 GIT. And our presenter for this proposed order is Mr. Brian Fedotin.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
On January 20th, staff filed a report and recommendation concerning a true-up of CenturyLink's annual KUSF support for March 2020 through February 2021. They recommended adopting CenturyLink's $73,136 CAF2 support true-up and a corresponding increase to CenturyLink's KUSF year 24 support. Also adopting a proposed $157 reduction to CenturyLink's KUSF year 24 support, which would result in CenturyLink being qualified to receive $8,162,554 of KUSF support for year 24, as well as authorizing CenturyLink to recover a $75,979 increase in KUSF year 24 support through a one-time increase of its support, which would be experienced in March of 2021. The report and recommendation of staff is uncontested. Therefore, this order adopts the R&R and its recommendations in its entirety. With that, I'm available for questions.
Thank you, Brian. Are there any questions for Mr. Fedotin? And I will start with Commissioner Keene.
None for me, thank you.
Commissioner Duffy.
I have no questions and I move approval to adopt the docket number 16 GIMT 511 GIT.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the proposed order in the described docket. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, those in favor of adopting the proposed order, please vote aye.
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 Aye. The order is approved.
Thank you.
For our next item, we will turn to docket number 21 GLPE 160 ACQ, and this is a proposed order on proposed acquisition And our presenter for this item is Mr. Phoenix Anschutz. Phoenix?
Good morning. Can everybody hear me okay? I would assume so, but
Yep. Coming
this-
through loud and clear.
okay, this order is quite lengthy, so for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to hit some of the bigger points. On October 20th, 2020, NextEra and Grid Alliance filed a joint application seeking commission approval of a transaction involving NextEra's acquisition of 100% of the limited partnership interest in Grid Alliance Holdco and 100% of the membership interest in Grid Alliance Holdco's general partner, Grid Alliance GP. At the culmination of the proposed transaction, Grid Alliance Holdco and Grid Alliance HP will be subsidiaries of NextEra Transmission Investments. On January 6, 2021, staff filed its report and recommendation in which staff described the corporate structure of both NextEra and Grid Alliance, while also describing the settlement agreement in 19 GLPE 338 ACQ, which resulted in Grid Alliance HP purchasing an undivided 65% interest in the City of Winfield's existing electric transmission facilities. Staff further reviewed the relevant public interest and merger standards and determined both were met. Staff ultimately recommended the Commission grant joint applicants authority to complete the proposed transaction with the following conditions. NextEra would make entries in the formula rate of Grid Alliance HP sufficient to offset the effects of eliminating its accumulated deferred income taxes. NextEra would hold transmission and wholesale customers harmless from the transaction and transition costs in excess of demonstrated savings, and NextEra would provide capital injections as needed to maintain the financial integrity of Grid Alliance HP. On January 15, 2021, joint applicants filed a response to staff's R&R in which they accepted the three conditions recommended by staff. The signatories to the agreement agreed that the Commission should approve the proposed transaction as in the public interest. In reviewing it, the Commission reviewed KSA 66-136, KSA 66-131, and the Commission's enumerated merger standards. After, this is a very long order, I'm trying to get to the bottom of it.
Okay, Phoenix, my
record
comment
and-
was going to be that you did a really comprehensive job on it. So it's
Yeah.
proven my point.
After review of the record and careful consideration of the merger standards, the Commission in this order would determine that the proposed transaction is in the public interest. With that, I would recommend approval, which will in turn grant the proposed transaction and unanimous settlement agreement in its entirety. With that, I will stand for questions.
Thank you for that, Phoenix. I'll turn to my fellow commissioners for any questions. Commissioner Keen
None for me, thank you.
and Commissioner Duffy.
No, I have no questions, and thank you, Phoenix, for that explanation. With that, I do move approval of the order on the proposed acquisition.
Second,
We have a motion and a second to approve the proposed order on the proposed acquisition. Is there any further discussion? My only further discussion would be that Phoenix, you did a really great job on the order, and it is very comprehensive, so thank you. With that, those in favor of approving the order, please vote aye.
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 Aye. The order is approved. We have come to the end of our agenda, and if there is no further business to be conducted, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Those in favor, please vote aye.
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 Aye. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
All right.